down on earth.
Thy will be done on earth
As it is in heaven.
as it is in heaven.
Give us this day daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread.
And forgive us of our debts.
And forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation.
And lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
For thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever. The scripture down here to read.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
For he is good.
For he is good.
And his mercy endures forever.
And his mercy endures forever.
Praise the Lord God of Israel.
Praise the Lord God of Israel.
For he is good.
For he is good.
And his mercy endures forever.
And his mercy endures forever.
In Jesus' name we pray.
In Jesus' name we pray.
The Holy One of Israel.
The Holy One of Israel.
The King of Kings.
King of Kings.
Lord of Lords.
Lord of Lords.
The one true God.
The one true God.
And there is no other.
And there is no other.
Amen.
Amen.
The scripture I got to read from is from Psalms 51, verses 1 through 5. Have mercy upon me, O God, according to thy loving kindness, according to the multitude of thy tender mercy. Blot out my transgressions. Wash me through my iniquity, and cleanse me from my sin. For I acknowledge my transgression, and my sin is ever before me. Against thee, thee only, have I sinned and done this evil in thy sight, that thou mightest be justified when thou speakest, and be clear when thou judgest. Behold, I will shape in iniquity, and sin did my mother conceive me. Amen.
And may the Lord.
May the Lord add a blessing to the reading, hearing, and doing of His word. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Bless out everybody.
Bless us.
Man, it's good to be here. It's good to see y'all. I'm glad Jacksonville didn't get touched by the storm. Definitely worried about y'all. It's sunny. It's all good out down here.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm from the title of this class, it's called Flee from Sexual Immorality. And as everybody's either seen or know, this is a particular sin that's going to get a lot of people cut off from God. So you hear it in the rap music, it's promoted in movies, TV shows, even in some kids' cartoons, so you really can't get away from sexual immorality. And society teaches us that, especially for a man, the more sex you have, the more manly you are. Even so much now that women are out here adding to their body count as well. That's being promoted. You got fathers teaching their sons that go out here to play the field until you're ready. We should admit that as well. Now we have women with the same mindset, play the field until they're ready. So now we're going to the Bible, we're going to see what God says about different facets of immorality. And should we be out here having all this illicit sex or any activities? So we're going to start in Romans chapter 6. And the handout says verse 11, we're going to start at verse 1.
Verse 1. What shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin, that grace may abound? God forbid. How shall we, that are dead to sin, live any longer therein?
So now he's saying, what shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Because we have this grace, or this time to get our lives together, because grace is what God sending His Son to die for us. So now you have this grace or this unmerited favor, or you continue to sin. Absolutely not. Verse 11, excuse me.
Likewise, reckon ye also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, but alive unto God through Jesus Christ our Lord.
That's right.
Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that you shall obey it in the lust thereof.
So Paul's telling Romans, don't let sin reign in your mortal body. You should obey the lust thereof. Verse 13.
Either ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin.
So if you call yourself being a servant of God, you should be taking this body or this vessel and just be dealing with this girl, dealing with this man, all willy-nilly without making the proper covenant. Neither yield ye members as instruments of righteousness unto sin,
but yield yourself unto God, as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instrument of righteousness unto God.
So instead, use that body for righteous things. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 7. Corinthians chapter 7, pretty much just laying the groundwork how like this body that you have is not yours. And you shouldn't be out here doing this, doing that, especially because the world promotes it doesn't make it okay. So 1 Corinthians 7, verse 1.
Now concerning the things whereof ye wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman.
So Paul again, now he's talking to the Corinthians now, and he's addressing fornication, which you read about in chapter 6. Now concerning the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman. Why is that?
Nevertheless, to avoid fornication,
Mm-hmm.
let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband.
So now we have the formula here. So if you want to avoid fornication or the act of sleeping around as a single man, or a married man in this case, have your own wife or your own husband. He say boyfriend, he's fiance, he tell every man to have his own man, his own girl to have her own girl. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, let every woman have her own husband.
Let the husband render to the wife due to benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband.
In other words, don't be holding out from your spouse. Y'all get into an argument, y'all get upset. I mean, y'all deal with that, but it shouldn't be, well, watch, you ain't getting nothing like type stuff. I'm being honest, it's gonna be a transparent class. You shouldn't be holding out from your spouse. That's gonna open the door for Satan to come in. So now your husband, he ain't got none in months. This woman at his job, he look really good now. He could go to that wrong road. Read.
The wife hath not power of her own body, but the husband. And likewise also the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife. Defraud not one other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your contention.
So defraud ye not one another, except be with consent for a time. So if y'all are going to stop any adult activity, we'll say, I have to agree, my wife has to agree, and it's locked in stone. And whether so if we're going to fast for a certain amount of time, cool, we're not going to do this. It has to be with consent. And come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your inconsistency. So in other words, we already know that Satan's looking for any avenue that he can get into the household. And one of the best ways to get somebody caught up is throw a woman at him or throw a man at him if things are not happening at the house. That's why it's important that you don't defraud your spouse. Like we read earlier in the chapter, you're like, your body not your own. Once you get married, and that's why it says, become one flesh. Keep going.
But I speak this by mission, and not of commandment.
Uh-huh.
For I would that all men were even as I myself, but every man hath his proper gift of God, one after this manner, another after that.
So Paul's saying, like, I wish every man was like me. Because Paul didn't have a wife, he didn't have children. He was 110% dealing with gospel. Keep going.
I say therefore to the unmarried and widow, it is good for them if they abide even as I.
So for the widows and for the unmarried, Paul's saying, I wish they were like me, dealing with the gospel, hardcore, don't have to worry about the ties of a wife or a husband. And I told my boy I was going to make fun of him, but my boy Chris, we deemed him a eunuch, right? A eunuch. In other words, he doesn't want to deal with a wife, which is not bad. Some brothers don't need to have a wife. Some do. I need a wife for multiple reasons. But some men are able to focus. Matter of fact, their focus is so set on God that they don't have time. That's fine. I say therefore unto the unmarried and widows, it is good for them to abide even as I. Even as a husband or a wife, especially from the husband aspect of it, that you focus on the word, which I deal with providing for the household, providing for the wife and her needs as well. I don't say it takes from the gospel, but you're not fully focused on the gospel as you could be. Keep going.
But if they cannot contain, let them marry, for it is better married than to burn.
So again, let's just be honest about it. If you dealing with this woman or this man, y'all just can't help it. Every time y'all together, kissing, touching, y'all know how it goes. That's why it says in the first verse, it's good for a man not to touch a woman. But if you can't help yourself, you just gotta do something. Go ahead and get married. Go ahead and get married, because more than likely you're already living together. Y'all got on the same cell phone plan. Y'all got joint bank accounts. You might as well tie the knot and go ahead and do it and go ahead and make it happen. It's down to verse 34. Read that.
There is difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman careth for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit. She that is married careth for the things of the world, how she may please her husband.
So yeah, like unmarried women, they dealing with the things of the Lord. So getting the Sabbath, like make sure the churches, make sure that the things of Christ take care of. We have a married woman, she's more concerned with pleasing her husband, getting her hair done, getting her nails, cooking dinner, things like that. There's again nothing wrong with any aspect. Keep going.
And this I speak for your own profit, not that I may cast a snare upon you, but for that which is comely, and that you may tend upon the Lord without distraction. But if any man think that he behaves himself uncomely towards his virgin, if she pass the flower of her age, and need so require, let him do that he will. Let him do what he will. He sinneth not. Let them marry.
So if you talk to a young lady, y'all hang out, y'all trying to do your best to keep word, right? But you can't, you behave yourself uncomely towards her. In other words, the fire desire starts urging up, y'all can't contain yourselves, and she's old enough to, got kids here to, we'll say, adult activities, go ahead and tie the knot. That way you avoid fornication, you sin not, and you're good in the eyes of God. Let's go to Exodus 22. This is one scripture that I wish somebody told me as a young man, because it would have changed my whole perspective. Like I opened the class up earlier, young men, or men period, shouldn't be out here just no bed hopping from sister to sister. That's not how God ordained this. And when you do, it's not so much. Matter of fact, let's read Exodus 22, verse 16.
And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endue her to be his wife.
So if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. So let's put that in 2018. You all over for Netflix and chill. Put the moves on her, you done dined her out, you done did all this things you need to do, and Netflix and chill goes into y'all just doing an activity. Next step is not to call the Uber, take her home. What you doing here? Like now you gotta make the necessary moves to make her your wife. Read that again.
And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife.
So you're messing with this woman who hasn't been engaged to another man, you lie with her, the next step for you is to go to Pops, or her brother, or whoever it is. This is what the situation is, this is what we did, I want her to be my wife. That's why it's important to, if you like this girl, keep it to yourself. Keep going.
If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
So the father, he can refuse. If he don't want you to have his daughter, so y'all gotta work something out. But the point I'm getting at is, you have a lot of brothers out here just said, making sport of sleeping with all these sisters. And then you go tell your friends about it, yeah, man, I got this many under my belt. Like, you can't, that shouldn't be the case. And like I said, that's why I wish somebody told me this before I went to college or in high school. That would have changed my whole mindset. I would have just stayed in my room and I even dealt with it. Because most of the time, brothers sleep with girls they don't like. It's an opportunity. But if you knew you had to make her your wife, you probably would have stayed in the crib, right? So keep that in mind as well. And in regards to marriage, like this particular way that it go, because notice he says the man's supposed to go see the father and make this scenario happen. Let's go to Genesis 29. And a lot of people don't want to get married for whatever reason. I know I didn't want to get married growing up, just because my views on it. Like my views, marriage growing up was, I got married to this woman who would nab me to death, take my money, and keep me locked up. That's what I thought marriage was, and I got some understanding. It's still the same. No, I'm joking. No, I'm messing. So Genesis 29 and verse 10. And we're going to see how Jacob went through to get Rachel. So Genesis 29 verse 10. Go ahead and pick it up.
And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near and rolled stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son. And she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob's sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house. And he told Laban all these things.
Because Isaac, his father, told him, don't take a wife of the Canaanites. Go here, find you a wife in this household. That's what Jacob's doing. So he gets there, he sees Rachel, he helps her out. Rachel tells her father. He comes back, they meet. Keep going.
And Laban said to him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh. and he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, Because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be? And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel.
So he's saying, man, like, look, you're my brother, so you gonna serve me for nothing? Like, what do you want? Tell me, like, give me something that you want to serve for. He says, verse 16, and Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Verse 17.
Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. And Jacob loved Rachel, and said, I will serve these 7 years for Rachel, thy younger daughter.
So he wanted Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed. I don't know what that means exactly, but apparently, but it says Rachel was beautiful, so I guess tender-eyed may be, like, I don't know, whatever it means. Leah was tender-eyed, Rachel was beautiful and well-favored. Also, what we get from this is the daughters at the father's house. Not at the father's dorm room, not at the staying with roommates at a crib. She's at the father's house. My daughter gonna be at my house because someone comes plucks her up. But you gotta think, like, when she walks out the door, as a man, you know what's going on out here. Like, you were in that position at one time. Keep going.
And Laban said, It is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man.
So Jacob, again, he wanted Rachel, but Laban said, yeah, okay, it's better that I give her to you than to somebody else. Keep going.
Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel.
How long?
7 years for Rachel.
7 years. He loved her so much that he wanted to serve 7 years to get this woman. But you can't wait 2 months. You can't put a year in to find out who this woman is. 7 years now. Read the verse again.
And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel. And they seemed unto him but a few days, for the love he had to her.
And he said, Jacob loved Rachel so much, those 7 years seemed like a couple of days. Think about that. You courting this young lady, and you love her like you say you love her. Take your time. Get to know her. Once you locked in, you locked in. You gotta put the pressure on her, how she act in these situations. But before y'all say I do, you should know how she act when she's angry, how she acts when she does this, how she deal with things. You should know everything about this woman up here before you make the next step. Keep reading.
And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife, for my days are fulfilled, that I may go in unto her.
So imagine that, like some dude roll up to you like, look, man, my wife, man, I'm ready to get busy. Right? But he earned it. He worked 7 years for her. Verse 25.
And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said to Laban, What is this thou hast done to me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me?
So now, after that, they had a party. Laban got Jacob drunk. And he slipped Leah in there. And so Jacob wakes up in the morning, he's like, man, hold up. You beguiled me, you tricked me, you gave me the tender-eyed one. I ain't want her. Keep going.
And Laban said, It must be so done in our country to give the younger for the firstborn.
So Laban put a quick one on Jacob. He said, I can't give you the younger one. We got the oldest one first. So Leah had to go. So Jacob would have been like, man, skip that. I'm out of here. Let's see what Jacob did for Rachel. Keep reading.
Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years.
So he served another 7 years for Rachel. 14 years in total for this one woman that he loved a lot. So again, with young, like us men, take your time, man. Like, women work 7 years. You can give a year. You can give 8 months to figure it out. So again, we're in the Exodus 22. You jump in head first, like her or not, you gotta make the necessary steps to make her your wife. Let's go to Matthew 5. Alright, so Matthew chapter 5. And of course, the Lord goes to like dealing with ministry. He goes into, that I ain't come to do with the law in any way, shape, or form. Then he kind of addresses adultery in a sense, and divorce. So let's read that in chapter 5, verse 27. You got to go ahead.
Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not commit adultery.
So adultery, in other words, a married man should be sleeping with another married man's wife. Keep going.
But I say unto you, that whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her hath committed adultery with her already in his heart.
So, in reading this, I find it amazing that people say that Christ came to do away with the law. Because even in the same chapter, he tells you things that I ain't come to destroy the law of the prophets. So I'm not changing the smallest part of the law to all be fulfilled. So even in this small snippet here, we see that Christ he tightened the law. He reigns on it, saying, I know old time it says, I shall not commit adultery. And then it's like a little subtitle under that, but I'm telling you, you even look at a man's wife to commit adultery with her, you already did it in your heart. Skip down verse 31, read that.
It hath been said, whoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement.
And so, if you're going to put away your wife, give her the writing of divorcement. Keep going.
But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, save for the cause of fornication, cause her to commit adultery, and whosoever shall marry her that is divorced, committed adultery.
So again, Christ in this chapter, he's addressing adultery. It starts in the middle. If you look at somebody's wife already, half the battle already lost. There's more so than often you're gonna make that move to sleep with her. Then he says here, like, I understand Moses gave you a writing of divorcement, but I'm telling you, whosoever puts away his wife outside the cause of fornication, so she in some way, shape, or form, she was messing around with somebody who's not you, and whosoever shall marry her that is divorced committeth adultery. If I divorce my wife for any other reason than her messing around, and she marries somebody else, that's adultery on her. And that's on me as well. Keep reading.
And whoever shall marry her that is divorced committed adultery.
Mm-hmm.
Again, ye have heard that it has been said by them most time, thou shalt not forswear thyself before, but shalt perform unto the Lord thine oaths.
Let's get on that.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe something serious. Understanding that there are people who come into the truth and they have different situations. Like, that's completely understandable. So every situation is different. But if you're in the truth and you know these things, so now it's act accordingly. Because once you're married, it's supposed to be to death do you part. And again, that ties into learning who this woman is before y'all make that covenant. And that's why it's hard for brothers to find a wife now. Number one, especially in our camp, like a lot of women don't go to church. And number two, like you out here in this world, the 1 out of 10 chance that she might join in the word with you, you want to take the chance? I wouldn't. Most men don't. So Romans 7 verse 1. Go ahead and pick it up.
Know ye not, brethren, for I speak to them that know the law, how the law had dominion over a man as long as he liveth.
No, until Christ came down on the cross.
As long as he liveth.
So the law or the commandments have dominion over you. They reign over you until you don't have life anymore. So as long as you live, you are governed by the law. Verse 2.
For the one which hath a husband is bound by the law of his husband, so long as he liveth.
So it's kind of parallel the way Paul's setting it up. So in like manner, as the man is governed by the law as long as he liveth, it's the same way a woman is tied to a husband. And the only way out of that marriage is what?
Yes. But if the husband be dead, she is loose from the law of the husband.
So if her husband is dead, she's loose from the law of her husband. In other words, now she can marry whoever she wants. So there shouldn't be first of all, a woman can't divorce her husband anyway. It's really not her place or her role. So if a man puts her away, and somebody marries her, that's a whole different scenario. That's why Christ said, get divorced. Keep reading.
So then if, while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress.
So if husband's still living and she be married to another man, she should be called an adulteress. Keep reading.
But if her husband be dead, she is free from that law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man.
So when the Lord said, to death do you apart, he meant that. So technically the only way out of marriage is whether it be fornication or death. Those are your outs. So it doesn't matter. There shouldn't be we got a divorce. Why? Because she got fat. I don't like her no more. That is not a valid excuse. Sit down. Yeah, we're good on that. Let's go to Exodus 20. And adultery is a big thing, but now adultery is so watered down, like it's cool. Like you watch Scandal, adultery is all in that show. Everybody thinks Olivia Pope is a role model for some women. Why? I don't know. Then you watch How to Get Away with Murder, same thing, adultery all over the place. And then you read, I know the different the scandals and stuff like that. Like, but the world's promoting that. On top of that, teaching you don't have to keep no law anyway. So now it's a free for all, freak fest out here. Exodus 20. And anytime I always read Exodus, I always start with verse 1, just for the people that say Moses gave these commandments. So Exodus 20 and verse 1.
And God spake all these words, saying,
Who said that?
God,
It said, and God spake all these words, saying, verse 14.
thou shalt not commit adultery.
Thou shalt not commit adultery. And this is the same lines of love your neighbor as thyself. So if you love your neighbor, you're not gonna try to kill him, not commit adultery. Keep going.
Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
So if you love your neighbor, you're not going to commit adultery with his wife. You're not going to cover his house. Thou shalt not cover thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. So I should be going to Julius' crib and just want everything he got up in there. That's his stuff. I got a job, buy your own stuff. That's for everybody. Buy your own stuff. There's just no reason why if the college got a wife, all the millions of women in this world, I gotta have his wife. Like that's foolishness. That's crazy. And when you think in regards to adultery, like that's some serious stuff. The fact that you sat and plotted how you gonna take this brother's wife to somebody else. Vice versa, you got some women who sit and plot. How can I take this man's husband to somebody else? I think the whole Elite Key situation. How that played out. Took another man's husband. Keep going. That's it on that. Alright. Let's go to 2 Samuel. Let's go over to 2 Samuel. Because no, it's like the only reason I talk about adultery is because, like I was telling the brothers up here earlier, you ain't gotta deal with the word, you ain't gotta read the Bible, you ain't gotta call yourself a Christian whatsoever, but naturally another man's wife is off limits. Like naturally you know that. I always give the example of, like high school, middle school, you and your best friend, he dates a girl, you can't date her after that. That's man code, you can't do that. Now, I'm from a Marine town, so you got Marines are always on deployment, and they wives be cheating on them like crazy. It's like a common thing. Matter of fact, one of my homies was telling us how he was messing with someone's wife. Like, dude, crazy. You can really say when you come home on surprise deployment, you get touched up. So 2 Samuel, chapter 12, what we have going on here is King David was a man of God's own heart. He was on the king's house and he saw a woman over there, Bathsheba. She was taking a bath, and David saw her. He must have liked when he seen because he went quiet of her. And the information came back and he says, "Oh yeah, that's Uriah's wife, the Hittite." So automatically David should have what? That's it. Ended it. That's somebody else's wife. They didn't do that. David plotted on how you get this man's wife, called her over, slept with her, got her pregnant. And long story short, he found out like this crafty way. It's pretty much how Uriah assassinated him. First, he brought him from the war. He's like, "Hey man, eat, drink, have fun, go home with your wife." But Uriah was on, "No man, my brother's out there fighting. I can't be home chilling." So then David said, "All right, well look, send Uriah to the front lines. Like, he'll die for sure." Again, David, the guy's own heart, had this man assassinated, and for what? To take this brother's wife. Let's read verse 1.
And the Lord sent Nathan unto David, and he came unto him, and said unto him, There were 2 men in one city, the one rich and the other poor. The rich man had exceeding many flocks and herds.
So Nathan's about this parable to David. David's gonna get pretty much pissed off about what's going on. And the Lord sent Nathan unto David, and he came unto him and said unto him, There were 2 men in one city, the one rich and the other poor. The rich man had exceeding many flocks and herds. Verse 3.
The poor man had nothing, save one little ewe lamb which he had bought and nourished up, and grew up together with him, and with his children. It did eat of his own meat, and drank of his own cups, and lay in his bosom. and was to him as a daughter.
So what we're getting at here, so David would be a rich man, for example. David had multiple wives, he had riches, he had everything that most men would want. Uriah didn't have anything. He was a poor man, he had this one wife. Keep reading.
And there came a traveler unto the rich man, and he spared to take of his own flock and of his own herd, to dress for the wayfaring man that was come unto him, but took the poor man's lamb, and dressed it for the man that was come to him.
So he didn't deal with his own flock, he took the poor man's lamb. Fix that up. So in other words, David didn't deal with his wives. He didn't deal with what he already had. He took my man Uriah's wife. You read it.
And David's anger was great kindled against the man, and he said to Nathan, as the Lord liveth, the man that had done this thing shall surely die.
So remember, Nathan put it in the parable. He put it in the parable of, a rich man and a poor man, where the situation. David said, man, whoever did this, sure he got to die. This man messed up. Keep going.
And he shall restore the lamb fourfold, because he did this thing, and because he had no pity.
So David's on something, this man got to die, and he's going to have to repay his brother for what he stole. Keep in mind, it was introduced in the parable to him, so he doesn't know it's talking about him yet. Keep going.
And Nathan said to David, thou art the man. Thus said the Lord God of Israel, I anointed thee king over Israel, and I delivered thee out of the hand of Saul.
Think about that. So, David, I'm talking about you. You had wives, you had this, you took Uriah's wife. On top of that, it was told to him that was Uriah's wife way before we even get here. So he had an opportunity to go, okay, I'm gonna chill. That same goes for us. If you out here, a single man, you inquiring of a woman, and you find out she's another man's wife, the inquiry stops. And you leave it alone and try something else.
And I give thee thy master's house, and thy master's wives unto thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I would moreover have given unto thee such and such things.
So look, I gave thee thy master's house, and thy master's wives, and thy bosom, and gave thee the house of Israel and of Judah. And if that had been too little, I will moreover have given unto you these such and such things. So the Lord is saying, man, look, I gave you the kingdom, I gave you Israel, I gave you master's wives. If that one enough, I would have gave you more. He's getting at it is like, you absolutely did have to do this. Just like any man or woman, you don't have to take somebody else's spouse. Like, what for? And on the common sense level, if you took that man's wife or husband and they cheating on you and y'all get married, what's he gonna do next?
Wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of the Lord, to evil in his sight? Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword.
So now he's saying, wherefore hast thou despised the commandment of the Lord, which you read in Exodus 20 was what? Thou shalt commit no adultery, and to do evil in his sight. So the Lord has said this be evil. Keep going.
Thou hast killed Uriah the Hittite with the sword, and hast taken his wife to be thy wife, and hast slain him with the sword of the children of Ammon. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thy house, because thou hast despised me, and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be thy wife.
So the Lord is about to punish David for all this, going to tear up his house. Now therefore the sword shall never depart from thy house, because thou hast despised me, and hast taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to thy wife. Verse 11.
Thus said the Lord, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thy own house. I will take thy wives before thine eyes, and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in sight of this son.
So look, you don't took somebody else's wife, check it out. Someone's gonna lie with your wives. And they're gonna be in private. The whole city gonna see it. Imagine that punishment. You came, you serving God and whatnot. Next thing you know, you walk outside, you see somebody laying with your wife. And the whole city's catching that. David didn't do anything about it. That was his punishment. Keep going.
For thou didst it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun.
And David did it secretly. Again, you're wrong for the most part. If you're doing something right, you don't have it in secret, right? You don't know why people find out about it, they find out. So if you stealing or committing adultery, you gotta go fornicating, you walking out the house 3 in the morning, it wasn't the best time. You know why you're doing that. You don't want to get caught or seen. Verse 13.
And David said unto Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan said unto David, the Lord also hath put away thy sin, that thou not die.
So
thou shalt not die.
The Lord is merciful on David, because what's supposed to happen was the man and the woman caught in adultery supposed to die. That's it. You're right. Appreciate it. Let's go over to Deuteronomy 22. So far we addressed, general fornication and adultery. But fornication is a really broad umbrella. There could be a number of things. Deuteronomy 22 and verse 10. Go ahead and set up for me.
Thou shalt not plow with an ox and an ass together.
Mm-hmm.
Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts, as of woolen and linen together.
Hold up. Not be a typo. Okay, yeah, start at verse 13.
If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, and give occasions of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came to her, I found her not a maid.
Mm-hmm.
Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate.
So a man marries a woman, they have the adult activity, and he's like, man, I hate her, man. And so now you gotta prove this lady's virginity. Keep going.
And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hated her. And lo, he hath given occasion of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter's maid. And yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread cloth before the elders of the city.
So then, reading this, man, it's kind of like on some, you can tell the world has gone completely backwards or off the axis or whatnot, because it is hard to find a woman who has yet to lay with another man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's important to, if we went back to the way things are supposed to be, the woman stay at the house, you go get her, and then y'all consummate marriage or whatnot, but things go backwards. Kids having sex as early as 12 years old. Can't do anything else doing that. Keep going.
And the elders of that city shall take that man and chastise him.
So if you got caught, so you had occasion against your wife, you laid with her, I don't like her, but she's proven to be a virgin, and they have the sheet of a token of her virginity, then that man is be chastised. They wouldn't beat him fine, whatever the case may be. Verse 19.
And they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought up an evil name upon the virgin of Israel. And she shall be his wife, and he may not put her away all his days. But if this thing be true, and the tokens of virginity be not found for the damsel, then they shall bring out of the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die, because she hath wrought folly in Israel, to play the whore in her father's house. So shalt thou put evil away from among you.
So on the flip side, if the woman was found not to be a virgin, she was brought out to the city and stoned, because she wrought folly in Israel. But notice they called her she played a whore in her father's house. So letting you know, both women and men, but in this particular case, the woman shouldn't be out here, 1 body, 2 bodies, 6, 12, 18, whatever the count is, right? To bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones that she die, because she had wrought folly in Israel to play the whore in her father's house, so that thou should put away evil from among you. And it's crazy how you have like some women who are standing fast, they're not going to do anything until they're married, and the world considers them to be crazy. You lost your mind. Go out here and have fun. Be a woman. Be a feminist and all that stuff. Are you gonna believe what the world says or what the Bible says? Men as well. You're not getting a trophy for the amount of women you sleep with. You're not. What you are getting is that report back to the Lord, what you've been doing. So think about that as well. Keep going.
If a man be found lying with a woman married to a husband, then they shall both of them die. Both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel.
So again, the Lord is calling like this adultery is evil in Israel. So if a man be found laying with a woman that has a husband, both of them gotta die. Keep going.
If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto a husband, a man find her in the city and lie with her, then ye shall bring them both out into the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel, because she cried not, being in the city, and the man, because he had humbled his neighbor's wife, so thou shalt put away evil from among you.
And also let you know that it's because you have I hate saying this word, but we'll do this in here. Just because you do adult things with somebody doesn't necessarily mean you're married. If that was the case, fornication would be off the table. So if you lay with a woman who's betrothed or engaged to a man, but they haven't consummated the marriage yet, again, the Lord is saying the man and the woman should die for that, because she ain't called for help, but she was a willing participant. Verse 25.
But if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, then the man only that lay with her shall die.
So again, if a man forces himself into a woman, he's supposed to die as well. That's immoral in the sense. So when I'm saying fornication, immorality, it goes further than just man and woman doing that. Like, it covers a very broad spectrum of things. Let's shoot back to verse 5. Yeah.
Okay. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. All that do so are abomination to the Lord thy God.
You walk around and live long enough, you're going to see something like this. I promise you. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth to a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. All that do so are an abomination of the Lord. So in other words, a woman shouldn't be out here looking like a man shouldn't be out here looking like a woman. And I said, you live in Atlanta long enough, I promise you, you're going to see your brother in a midriff, tight behind jeans, what the hell it's called, on the regular. When I drive to work, I work downtown, school is a pretty impoverished area. I see at least one cross-dresser a week, at least one, guaranteed. Vice versa. You see a lot of women out here trying to play the role of a man. God's saying that's an abomination. You're not supposed to be doing that nonsense. Again, but when you promote that, gender equality, there is no law, or be free in who you are, it's all going against God's commandments. So for brothers and sisters, you go shopping, go to the men's aisle and buy. Sisters go to the sisters' aisle and buy. That's not to say if you're married or something, you can wear your boyfriend's shirt or your husband's shirt. You can do that. That's fine. Let's not be over righteous. What we're getting at is, Brother Josh, you're walking here with a wig and a bumper, nothing like that. That's what it's getting at.
That'll be an ugly sight anyway.
Let's go over to Proverbs chapter 6. Alright, yep, Proverbs 26, and verse 23. And we're going to read about the evil woman and what she needs to do to purge yourself from that. Go ahead and pick it up.
For commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instructions are the way of life.
So for the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life. So you want to know what your guiding piece should be, or what should you be living your life by, is the commandment. They're a lamp. They're gonna guide you. So when you err, you know why it's pertaining to what thus saith the Lord. And proofs are of instruction of the way of life. So anyone in this room could be corrected at any given time. Someone sees me falling off, get it together. I'm sorry. Whether it be Brother Collins, Brother Chris, Brother Julius, whoever it is, can be approved. And it's not. Don't take it as a, oh man, Johnny, man. Like, no, I'm trying to help you out. Or he's trying to help you out. She's trying to help you out. Verse 24.
To keep thee from the evil woman, from the flattery of her tongue, flattery of the tongue of a strange woman.
And you can look at this, it can be either physical or spiritual. Keep going.
Lust after her beauty in thy heart, neither let her take thee with her eyelids. For by means of a whorish woman, a man is brought to a piece of bread, and adulteress will hunt for the precious. Can a man take fire in his bosom, and his clothes be not burnt?
That's right.
Can one go upon hot coals, and his feet not be burnt?
So in other words, can you don't play with yourself. If 11 out of 10 times, I said on purpose, 11 out of 10 times, if you call yourself getting in your car, however you get to this girl's house, you know what's gonna happen. Don't sit here and be like, if it gets to this point, I'll stop, I'll leave, or you know what, I'm gonna do this. That's why I said here, can a man take fire to his bosom and his clothes and not be burned? Don't you fooling with yourself. And this is coming from experience. Can one go up to hot coals and his feet not be burned? And that can be really with anything. On some, if you plotting to steal something and you haven't thought about it, and you thought about it, and then you start planning and make the moves, you're there, You really think you're gonna back out midway? Like this, you in action house game time. So it's best for you to not even do it at all. Verse 29.
So he that goeth into his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent.
Again, so he that goeth to his neighbor's wife, whosoever toucheth her shall not be innocent. So you done went to this man's house, you done looked at her, you done plotted, you done, man, she look good, she don't need him, she don't deserve him. Like that, now you playing with fire. Do you really think you're gonna be, and while he's gone, be her house, got no business being there, you really think he's gonna walk out of the situation? You probably not. Keep going.
Men do not despise a thief, if he steal to satisfy his soul when he is hungry.
So in most cases, like if someone steals from you, you're gonna be upset about it. But if he did this, like provide for his family, so he needed, you be this, but you're gonna have a little mercy. Okay, cool. If you needed this, you should have said something. I'll give you some food. I'll give you some gas money. Whatever you need, but you have to steal. Let me a whole different scenario if you do this. Verse 31.
But if he be found, he shall restore sevenfold. He shall give all the substance of his house.
If you steal, you get that back, or with interest. If I stole $5 from Brother Tony, he ain't know. He checks me on it. Like, I'm sorry, man. Here's 20. I give it back. Keep going.
But whoso committed adultery with a woman lacketh understanding. He that doeth it destroys his own soul. A wound and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away.
My best friend, if he messed around and slept with my wife, there's no amount of apologizing, there's no amount of money, there's no amount of I'm sorry, forgive me, like it's done and said with you. You gotta die. That's not even a joke, you gotta die. A woman and dishonor shall he get, and his reproach shall not be wiped away. Keep going.
For jealousy is the rage of a man. Therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance.
So like anybody, you're not sparing him in the day of vengeance. So you walk in, matter of fact, those stories that be on like Snapped and the Fatal Attraction, stuff like that. You work all day, you bust your behind, you've been dealing with the world, and the one place you think you'll come home with some peace, you roll in there, your wife is getting busy. Best believe, the first thought gonna come to your mind ain't gonna be thus saith the Lord. I promise you. At least me. For jealousy is the rage of a man, therefore he will not spare the day of vengeance. Like I was telling you earlier, I miss you home on deployment. You pull up on your wife and surprise somebody else in your room. Verse 35.
He will not regard any ransom, neither will he rest content, though thou givest many gifts.
So again, no amount of gifts, no amount of apologies, no amount of money can fix that problem. It's dead set. That's probably gonna be a big fight. Maybe a loss of life. Who really knows? So again, what y'all get at is it's just best to stay away from his wife. Period. Get on. Let's go to Leviticus 20. We're going to address a big thing that seems to continue to grow as time goes forward. But also let you know that we right at the brink, the very end. So Leviticus 20. And read that one verse 13.
If a man also lie with mankind, as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them.
So now God's telling you, he's telling you, if a man lies with mankind as he lies with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood should be upon them. So if a man is sleeping with another man, it is an abomination to the Lord, and both of them were supposed to be put to death. So in this case, praise God for mercy and grace. But still, this is not to be accepted. You have a lot of these false pastors out here saying, it's cool, or they support it. Joel Osteen says, who am I to judge who's going to heaven, who's going to hell? So you call yourself a preacher, that's supposed to be your job, to judge or let them know what they're doing is wrong. And then we look at as crazy or bigots or extremists or haters because we don't support it. I ain't gonna walk around, gay bash, but at the same time, if you ask me how I feel, I'm gonna tell you, like it or not. Read that verse again.
If a man also lie with mankind, as he lied with a woman, both of them committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them.
And we out here talking about some Black Lives Matter. It's like, okay, well think about this. You're not creating black lives if two men are together, or two men aren't together. Especially in our community, like how are we gonna grow as a nation of people if kids aren't being produced? And sometimes say, well, we can just adopt. Okay, that's cool. Then you adopt children and bring them into that nonsense. It's like just repeating itself. This right here is not helping us at all. It's not helping anybody. And on top of that, the Lord said, don't do it. Let's go to Genesis 19. Remember, I was driving downtown one day. I saw two men hold hands. Wow, okay, whatever. And then I rode up to the restaurant called the Flying Biscuit. Somebody was giving me breakfast. Then I'm walking down the strip. It's literally a rainbow patch strip in the road. And then you see like Atlanta and like rainbow letters. I'm just like, man, that's just out of control.
Mm-hmm.
Then I made a gay pride post. I think 3 or 4 months ago. You talking about, man, comments on here. I think Julie saw it, didn't you? Man, about 300 plus comments. About 300 plus comments of how we're the reason why people don't want to deal with word. I'm judging. Something's wrong with me. It's just straight people get mad at me as well. Talking about some y'all using the Bible incorrectly. And the funny thing is, like the brothers who commented on the post, none of them used our opinions, what we thought, what we felt, all booked. We still got argued down. And of course, the people who were in the lifestyle had a problem. One of my line brothers called me. I can't believe you would say that. I was like, hey man, sorry. That's how I feel. I told you how I feel about it. Needless to say, one girl was like, well, I'm not gonna be your friend anymore. Okay, bye. I was like, cool with it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so I lost some friends, but you know, that's to be expected.
Right.
Genesis 19 and verse 1.
And there came 2 angels to Sodom at even. And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, behold, now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early, and go on your ways. And they said, nay, but we will abide in the street all night.
That's right.
And he pressed upon them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house. And he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat.
So you got these angels coming to visit Sodom and Gomorrah because it was told to the Lord that it got wicked there. So they get there, Lot sees them, he's like, hey man, y'all come to my house. And like, no, we're gonna stay out here. Lot draws him, look, you don't wanna do that. I promise you, you might come to the house. Imagine that. Matter of fact, we was again coming up here, it was like, man, let's get to the point where we're probably gonna get our door kicked in one day, hopefully not anytime soon, but it's getting there. Rather bro Tony getting his door kicked in. No, I'm joking, bro. I love Brother Tony, I'm messing with him. But on a serious note, but yeah, man, it's like, it's really getting to the point where you're wrong for addressing it, you're wrong for having your beliefs, and they got all these crimes against you, hate crimes and whatnot, that get you locked up, all because you stand on what you believe. They stand on what they believe, and there's no problem. Keep going.
But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, all the people from every quarter. They called unto Lot, and said unto him, call the men which came in to thee this night, bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
So the man that could pass the house, they circled around the crib, thought, yo, bring those men out here, so we know them. Keep going.
And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly.
So look how Lot addressed the problem. He says, so the men are around the house, and they say, look, bring those men outside that we can know them or have a relationship with them. Lot went outside, closed the door, and said, look, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. He didn't say, no, not today. Not so wickedly. In other words, don't do this abomination. Like we just read in Leviticus chapter 20. So letting you know that men shouldn't be sleeping with men in any way, shape, or form. Verse 8.
Behold now, I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as it is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
That's some good hospitality there. I'm not giving up my daughter. Behold now, I have 2 daughters which have not known man. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is good in your eyes. So to protect the 2 business under his house, he says, look man, I got 2 daughters that have not known man. Take them, do what you will. To any man in sound mind, that's a good deal. 2 daughters who have not known any man, they ain't want her. Keep going.
And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to join, and he will needs be a judge.
That sound familiar, right? Man, you just got here judging us, telling us we can't do this. Who are you? Keep going.
Now we will deal worse with thee than with them. And they pressed forward upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them, and shut to the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said to Lot, Hast thou here any besides, son-in-law, and thy sons, and thy daughters, and whatsoever thou hast in the city, bring them out of this place.
So at this point, so now there's like, man, look, you come here judging us. Now we're gonna deal worse with you. We're gonna deal with these men. So the angels blinded the men, shut them down. He ran to destroy the city. And a lot of people like to say, well, Sodom and Gomorrah weren't destroyed for homosexuality. Like, that's what we're reading here. Like he said here to the men, verse 7, like, don't do so wickedly. So obviously there's a problem somewhere. Verse 13.
We will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of the Lord, and the Lord has sent us to destroy it.
So it must obviously been a problem. The Lord sent to destroy the whole city, dealing with that. Let's get another account from Judges. It's not an handout. So Judges chapter 19. We'll start at verse 16.
And behold, there came an old man from his work out of the field at even, which was also of Mount Ephraim, and sojourned in Gibeah. But the men of the place were Benjamites.
So now you have this man out here, a Levite, who to get his wife, because she was playing harlot. She went back to her father's house. Keep going.
And when he had lifted up his eyes, he saw a way a foreign man in the street of the city. And the old man said, Whither goest thou? And whence comest thou? And he said unto him, We are passing from Bethlehem, Judah, toward the side of Mount Ephraim. From thence am I. And I went to Bethlehem, Judah, but I am now going to the house of the Lord. And there is no man that receiveth me in the house. Yet there's both straw and provender for our asses. And there is bread and wine also for me, and for thy handmaid, and for the young man which is with my servants. There is no want of anything. And the old man said, Peace be with you. Howsoever let all thy wants lie upon me, only lodge not in the street.
So the man saying like, look, similar to what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah. He's like, as a man here, must be a stranger. He's like, look, man, I understand you got what you need, but don't chill in the streets. Just come to my house. Verse 21.
So he brought him into his house and gave provender unto the asses, and they washed their feet and did eat and drink. As they were making their hearts merry, behold, the men of the city, certain sons of Belial, beset the house round about, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, Bring forth the man that came to thy house, that we may know him.
So here we go again. Judges, you have the certain sons of Belial beset the house round about, and beat at the door, and spake to the master of the house, the old man, saying, Bring forth the man that come into thy house, that we may know him. Verse 23. And
the man, the master of the house, went out unto them, and said unto them, Nay, my brethren, nay, I pray you, do not so wickedly, seeing that this man is come into my house, do not this follow.
So again, this master of the house saying, look, don't do so wickedly. This man, he come to my house, don't bring in this folly. So we have two different accounts. If you don't want to believe Sodom and Gomorrah was dealing with that, cool. Judges 19 talking about the same thing. Keep going.
Behold, here is my daughter, a maiden, and his concubine. Them I will bring out now, and humble ye them, and do with them what seemeth good unto you. But to this man do not so vile a thing. But the men would not hearken to him. So the man took his concubine and brought her forth unto them. And they knew her, and abused her all night until the morning. And when the day began to spring, they let her go.
That's it on that. So yeah, so what we're looking here is that like no way, shape, or form can same sex be commended. All right. Again, that's a form of fornication, immorality, and God called it an abomination. Let's go one place on it in Romans chapter 1. Remember, I had a co-worker I was working with, and call herself, dealing with both parties. She called herself dealing with both parties, but she called herself a Christian as well. So I remember I showed her this in Romans 1, and she was like, that's not what it means. I was like, it means what it says. How do you get around that? So Romans 1 and verse 21.
Because that, when they knew God, they glorified him not as God, neither were thankful, but became vain in their imaginations, and their foolish heart was darkened. Professing themselves to be wise, they became fools, and changed the glory of the uncorruptible God into an image made like to a corruptible man, and to birds, and four-footed beasts, and creeping things. Wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own body between themselves.
So because they turned the Romans, they turned the image of God to something similar to man. So wherefore God also gave them up to uncleanness through the lust of their own hearts, to dishonor their own body between themselves. Verse 25.
Who changed the truth of God into a lie, and worshiped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections.
No, natural affection.
Vile affections.
Vile affections. For what?
For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
So God called us a vile affection. Then he goes into the women did change the natural use to that which is against nature. So in other words, you got women dealing with women. Call themselves getting married, building a household, adopting kids, dealing in this nonsense. God called it vile affection, in which naturally there's an order. Because out of two of those women, one plays the role of a man, right? Exactly. Keep going.
And likewise also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burnt in their lust one towards another, men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves their recompense of their error, which was meat.
And again, flip side, likewise also the men leaving the natural use of the woman, burning their lusts one toward another, men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of the error, which was meat. So also it's unseemly. In other words, it's unnatural. And it's gross. Let's just be honest. That's nasty. Verse 28.
And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to reprobate mind, to do those things which are not convenient.
So they want to retain God in their knowledge. God them showed them these things. They still deny God. He gave them over to a reprobate mind. Reprobate meaning destined for damnation. That's something that God will give. So much for God will sit here and just wait and play and accept you. You got to change. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Let's go to Proverbs 31. Proverbs 31, let's talk about something else that me and Brother Donnie was talking about right before we pulled up. Proverbs 31, verse 10.
Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies.
So now I always say this: a man with some sense, some knowledge on him, he don't want a virtuous woman. And it says, who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Cardi B is not a virtuous woman. No. Nicki Minaj is not a virtuous woman. Lady Gaga is not a virtuous woman. The list goes on and on. even the way some women idol Beyonce, she's not a virtuous woman. Skip down to verse 12 and read that.
She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life.
Uh-huh.
She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands.
That's right.
She is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar.
Mm-hmm.
She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens.
So in other words, she's diligent. She makes sure the house is taken care of, the kids are set. So in today's modern terms, dinner's ready, the house is set, the kids are ready for bed. Whatever the case may be, she's handling business. She's not idle. She's not watching Real Housewives of Atlanta 8 hours a day. None of that foolishness. Keep going.
She is considered a field, and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planted a vineyard. She girded her loins with strength, and strengthened her arms.
Huh?
She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night.
That's right.
She lays her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff.
Now she's putting in work as well. So whether it be she got her own business, she goes to work and still handles her mother duty, she got Sister Kayla going on. That's what I'm talking about. This Sister Kayla does it all. Keep going.
She stretched out her hand to the poor, yet she reaches for her hands to the needy.
Uh-huh.
She is not afraid of the snow for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet.
Uh-huh.
She maketh herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing is silk and purple.
That's right.
Her husband is known in the gates when he sitteth among the elders of the land.
Think about that. Like, your wife so on point. She's so the game that you go, hey, brother Justin, man. Like, everybody's kicking it with you or whatever. They respect you because your wife is so on point. Think about that. That's a blessing in itself. Keep going.
She maketh fine linen and selleth it, and delivereth girdles unto the merchant.
She ain't got time to little money on the side. Bring it to the house. Who don't want that? Verse 25.
Strength and honor are clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come.
Uh-huh.
She opens her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness.
So she opened up her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness. And only having a woman with wisdom. In other words, every time y'all speak, there's some wisdom. Not with the godly wisdom, it would be worldly wisdom. So much better than, can't say what I want to say, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Always a fight, always a fuss, always a disagreement, always like y'all ain't never on equal terms, always butting heads. Nobody wants to deal with that. And her tongue is the law of kindness. Verse 27.
She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness.
So if she looking towards the good of the household, she don't eat the bread of idleness. So she makes sure the house is taken care of, it's in a great state of condition, and she's not lazy. Again, she ain't home all day, 8 hours, ain't done nothing, but can tell you everything that happened on the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Keep going.
Her children rise up, and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praiseth her.
Ain't nothing like seeing your kids deal with their mother. My son loves his mother. So much so, I don't even need to have time. I'm just there. My daughter, she loves her mother. She's a great role model for my daughter, so I'm not stressing over that. And to see like other kids, like the way they run their mom and all that, like that's a blessing. That speaks a lot to the mother. Because you got a lot of mothers, you got a lot of daughters who can't stand mom. Keep going.
Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou essence them all.
Uh-huh.
Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain. But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised.
So favor is deceitful, beauty is vain. But a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. If you gotta think, man, beauty fades. The same way she looked when y'all was 25, it ain't gonna be the same look when you 56, 70 years old. So if you married her because she looked good or she had good assets and those fade, what do you have now? Just as woman you just had around for all this time for her looks. That's why I said that virtue, that wisdom, and the way she conducts herself. That's what a man should be basing his life choices off of. Not because you like Cardi B. Verse 31.
Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates.
That's right. Go to 1 Timothy 2. And a great story I think of when dealing with wisdom was Abigail. When David was about to come murder everything Nabal had that pissed against the wall, because he was being foolish. So Abigail came out there and she dealt with wisdom. She brought food, she talked to David, kind of like, forget my husband, your fool and whatnot. So imagine if she did have that wisdom, she came out there on some, you better not roll my house type stuff, I know who you think you are. She probably got herself killed and her household killed that same night. But she operated in wisdom. And that's why it's cool, like you gotta be the baddest chick on the block, as these T shows promote. So 1 Timothy 2 and verse 9. And we're gonna get into, again, like what me and Brother Johnny was talking about on the way up here. Go ahead, read it.
In that manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefastness and sobriety, not with a broidered hair, or gold, or pearls, or costly array.
So Timothy is, Paul is telling Timothy, like men are also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel. I just said it before we wrote up here, I said like a woman looks so much better when she's covered, concealed, and she has some respect about herself. Modest apparel. Now think about Mary. He said he found favor in the sight of God. I'm sure Mary didn't have on day dukes with a midriff on. You know what I'm saying? She had some respect going on. So in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broad hair or gold or pearls or costly array. So a lot of people come here and tell you, see, women can't wear jewelry. That's not what he's saying. You can wear a jewelry. just let that be like, that defines you. Sister Lexi, she should be like, okay, she's a good respect when she's dealing with the word. It shouldn't be, she always got new Gucci shoes on. That's how she should be known. And I say my apparel because you can't go to the grocery store, you can't go to the gym, you can't go anywhere without seeing someone inappropriately dressed. To the point where in some cases you see grandma, mom, and daughter just all looking like hoochies. Let's just be honest about it. And then on the flip side, they be on social media like Facebook, Instagram. It's first supposed to be like, me checking my peeps, see what they doing. How is everybody enjoying life? Now it's just a freak fest. You scroll on Instagram, somebody with clothes on. It's like to the point where you stop looking. I ain't doing that no more. And it's promoted. Look at the magazines, look at the music videos, look at the TV shows, look at the movies. In some way, shape, or form, you're gonna see something. Or in this case, you're gonna see nothing with these girls. Verse 10.
But which cometh women professing godliness with good works.
So now, a woman's supposed to be professing godliness with good works. That should be what she's known for. I shouldn't be watching. Matter of fact, like working in the school, like seeing some of the things like their moms pick their kids up in. I'm like, yo, you should be ashamed of yourself, like straight up. And then we have like on Fridays called dress downs. Kids get to wear great clothes that are uniforms. And someone let their daughter come in and shredded jeans. I'm like, yo, what's going on here? Let's go to Proverbs 7. Because what you wear determines how people view you. And not to say that you may be dealing in harlotry or whatnot, but your clothes definitely give that aura. Like one of my favorite comedians, Dave Chappelle, made a great parallel. He was talking about how he was hanging out and the women were inappropriately dressed. And he said on tour, he's like, no, just because I'm dressed this way doesn't make me a hoochie. He's like, yeah, okay, true. Then he paralleled on some, that like me walking down the street in a cop uniform. Cops come, need some help, I'm like, this comes like a cop, don't make a police officer type thing. So in that same breath, what you wear determines how people see you. So if I see, you got your head covered, whether it be just 'cause you like it or whatever, your dress is not tight or whatever you wear, it looks acceptable. Okay, that's a good woman. Versus you got a too tight romper on, 8-inch heels. I'm like, yeah, she ain't about that life. So Proverbs 7 and verse 7.
And beheld among simple men, I discerned among the youth, a young man void of understanding, passing the street near a corner, and he went the way to a house.
He's talking about an adulterous woman here. Keep going.
In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night, and behold, there met him a woman with the entire harlot and subtle heart.
But he's talking about an adulterous woman, this young man, pretty much walking out. He says, and behold, there met with him a woman with an attire of a harlot and of subtle heart. So an attire of a harlot, what that look like? I think we all know we can pretty much get an idea what that looks like. You shouldn't be in Planet Fitness and basically bikini working out. Just do it, go to the house and do that. Or even in like in these false churches, women there are dressed inappropriately. I saw a picture of a praise team, and they just had, they might as well just been on the corner. It looked that bad. And behold, there met with him a woman with the attire of a harlot and a subtle heart. And I laugh, because I'll be scrolling through Facebook. Someone I know personally, like every time I see this person, it makes me upset because of family member. Every time I see them, we're just scrolling, nothing on, little nothing on, and then it makes a post on some, man, get on my nerves. All they do is send me inappropriate pictures. I'm like, yeah, what you think will happen? Look what you posting on Facebook. Look what you posting on Instagram. No man's gonna see a woman in her underwear, but that's a godly woman there. I need that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of we got to playing with ourselves, and it goes back to the thing of if women you want respect, give a man something to respect. Read verse 10 again.
And behold, there met him a woman with attire of a harlot and subtle heart.
I'm not saying you got to frock everywhere. That's not what I'm saying. But if you go shopping, be considerate of what's going on. Especially if you're someone's wife. I know my wife ain't walking around here with, I keep saying with a Cardi B outfit, and you go change that and put something else. I know if I'm looking at your butt, somebody else is too. And I'm jealous. Like I don't want to share. So go change that up.
No, that's not.
Let's go to our last place, 1 Corinthians chapter 6. Shoot. I guess the same can be said about men. It's also when you want this particular type of woman, you have to know to dress and carry yourself in a particular way as well. How you sag skinny jeans, I don't know to this day. But I've seen it done. Skinny jeans and got the nerve to have on the belt.
That's what he kills me with that right now.
So sagging skinny jeans or sagging period, no belt, kind of like got no respect about yourself, and then wonder why like you're attracting all these different type of women. Like this is what you're putting out. 1 Corinthians 6 verse 15. Go ahead and read that.
Know ye not that your bodies are members of Christ? Shall I then take the members of Christ and make them the members of harlot? God forbid.
So you're dealing with the word of God, like your body belongs to Christ. So you're gonna take this body or this body of Christ and join it to a harlot or a whore or a prostitute. Once you lay with a woman, you become one with that woman for that particular moment. So you took God's body, which we read, don't let sin reign in your mortal flesh, and you join it to a harlot for fornication. Keep going.
What? Know ye not that he which is joined to a harlot is one body? Two said he shall be one flesh. But he that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit.
So again, so you will be joined to the Lord and sharing that same spirit. The Lord's spirit shouldn't have you out here bed hopping from sister to sister or brother to brother. Verse 16 says, what? Know ye not that which is joined to a harlot is one body? Or two saith he shall be one flesh. You out here joining yourselves to all these different women, making all these, we'll say, lack of covenants for a better term. Keep going.
And flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body. But he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body.
So Paul's saying, flee fornication, run far from it. Flee fornication, for every sin that a man doeth is without the body. But he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. So you still, cool, all right, you put back, or whatever the case may be, but fornication or adult activity, that involves the entire body. Which we all know what I'm talking about. So that involves the entire body. Read verse 9.
Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators.
So all three of Paul's telling the church of Corinth, know ye not that the unrighteous shall inherit the kingdom of God? So you dealing in these behaviors makes you unrighteous. You're not going to inherit the kingdom of God. He says, be not deceived, neither fornicators. So all gay address fornication. Fornication being like that broad umbrella, whether it be dealing with family, or dealing with multiple partners, or you're dealing with animals, like whatever the imagination of man has been done. Be not deceived, neither fornicators,
nor idolaters, nor adulterers.
So again, adulterers, you are a married man sleeping with another married man's wife. You going?
Nor effeminate.
So nor effeminate. So in other words, you're a man, you flicking your wrist, you got high heels on, like you just playing tennis of a woman, you're not getting in either. Going.
Nor abuse of themselves with mankind. Nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revilers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of God.
So Paul's telling you here, so if you're dealing in fornication, idolatry, adultery, effeminate ways, no abuse of themselves with mankind, so you're not going to inherit the kingdom of God. So it's best that you get this body in check. So the title of the class, Flee from Sexual Immorality. I pray somebody got some understanding in Jesus' name. Now we'll have the announcements.
Sabbath announcements. Our prayer is that the eyes of your understanding were enlightened by today's lesson. DVDs and CDs of the lessons are available. Please place your order in the offering box along with your donation and pick up your DVD, CD at the podium next Sabbath. Please tune in to Thy Kingdom Come television program, which airs in various locations. Also join us for question and answers Bible study in about an hour from now. And every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time via live stream and or teleconference at number 860-970-0010, access code 343-531334 #. If you feel you are ready to be baptized, please sign the baptismal list at the podium or speak with the Brother Tony or Brother Anthony. On the first Sunday of every month, we broadcast the Bible in plain view. This broadcast gives others an opportunity to read and or teach a short 30-minute class. If you're interested in helping, please let us know. The following is the dress code for our services. All clothing should be modest in appearance, nothing tight-fitting, overly baggy, sagging, or revealing should be worn. Men are to remove hats and all head coverings, and women should wear a head covering such as that or scar, according to 1 Corinthians 11, verses 1 through 7. If you are a young child, become noisy, molesting, distracting other members, please remove him or her to the room next door. And tithes and or free will offerings should be put in an offering envelope and placed in the offering box near the podium. Pray for our strength as we pray for you on the next Sabbath. Peace.
Peace. You know, man, pray for each other. We got the holidays coming up, so going to Walmart's gonna suck for a long time. So just want to make sure that, if y'all can hang out with each other, hang out. You ain't gotta talk about the book. You probably will, but just be in each other's company. Also passing the plate around. All right, so we're gonna close out Faith Jerusalem. Have Q&A about 2:30. So.
Our Father which art in heaven.
Our Father which art in heaven.
Hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done.
In earth.
In earth.
As it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread.
Give us this day our daily bread.
And forgive us our debts.
And forgive us our debts.
As we forgive our debtors.
As we forgive our debtors.
And lead us not into temptation.
Lead us not into temptation.
But deliver us from evil.
But deliver us from evil.
For thine is the kingdom.
Thine is the kingdom.
And the power.
And the power.
And the glory.
And the glory.
Forever.
Forever.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord.
For he is good.
For he is good.
And his mercy endures forever.
And his mercy endures forever.
Praise the Lord God of Israel.
Praise the Lord God of Israel.
For he is good.
For he is good.
And his mercy endures forever.
And his mercy endures forever.
In Jesus' name we pray.
In Jesus' name we pray.
The Holy One of Israel.
The Holy One of Israel.
King of kings.
King of kings.
Lord of lords.
Lord of lords.
One true God.
One true God.
And there is no other.
There is no other.
Amen.
Amen.
Hallelujah.
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 In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.